String of California 7-Eleven shootings leave 2 dead, 3 hurt. Southern California police say 2 people were killed and 3 wounded in robberies at 6 7-Eleven stores. ByStefanie, Dazio, Associated Press, originally published on July 12, 2022. So in this image from video released by the Brea Police Department is a person that police are attempting to identify in connection with 2 people who were killed and 3 who were wounded in a shooting at 4 7-Elevens. Right? So once again, on my channel, I've spoken about this a lot of times. Too many times in America, we racialize violence. We racialize gun violence. We racialize homicide when we are all Americans. I thought we were all Americans. We have the same passports, same social security cards, same birth certificates. All of us are Americans. And it doesn't matter if it's a white guy, like the last guy who killed his whole family in the video I just made right before this, or if it's a black guy robbing 7-Eleven stores. The amount of gun violence in America has no color. Bullets have no names. Bullets aren't racist. Bullets lay everybody down, and they're killing too many Americans. Too many people are dying every day to senseless gun violence. Let's continue. Los Angeles. 2 people were killed and 3 wounded in robberies before dawn Monday at 6 7-Eleven stores in Southern California, and authorities said they were seeking the same lone gunman in at least 3 of the crimes. The string of violence occurred within a time span of about 5 hours on July 11th or 7-Eleven. Who writes this stuff? I swear we have typos all over the place and like needless additions to the text. Seriously, it's like we're not even taking gun violence seriously, because half of the articles written, unless it's one of these mass shootings where 20 people are killed or 10 killed, whatever, the writing in these articles is insane. That's my other big complaint. I read these articles all the time and there's always a typo. The day when the national 7-Eleven brand celebrates its anniversary. Oh, how ironic. Okay. This is the 95th year, and on Monday, stores gave out free Slurpee drinks. It wasn't immediately clear to investigators what prompted the violence in the cities of Ontario, Upland, Riverside, Santa Ana, Brea, and La Habra. I think the only person to answer that would be the suspect, said Officer Ryan Railsback, a spokesperson for the Riverside Police Department. But he said the date was no accident. Interesting. There's no way it can be a coincidence of it being 7-Eleven or July 11th, Railsback said. 7-Eleven Inc. issued a statement saying it was gathering information and working with police. Our hearts are with the victims and their loved ones, the statement said. The first robbery happened at about midnight in Ontario, about 35 miles, 56 kilometers east of Los Angeles. The masked man brandished a handgun at the store's employee and demanded money, according to Ontario Corporal Emily Hernandez. He did not fire any shots and the clerk was not injured. It was not immediately clear to investigators what, if anything, was stolen. The second robbery happened about 45 minutes later in Upland, less than 5 miles, 8 kilometers away from the Ontario store. By the way, for anybody who hasn't been to America, sometimes when you go to the grocery store, literally the clerk is behind bulletproof glass. And that's one of the things I've been so grateful not to see when being abroad. When I go to the stores here, even if I get racist ass treatment, the person behind the glass is not behind bulletproof glass. I've seen this so many times in America. It's insane. We live in a society that is used to the guns. We're more used to gun violence and gun deaths than we are anything else. And that's sad. That's sick. The gun violence in America is sick. It needs to stop. We need to abolish the Second Amendment, change our mindset, wake up from the matrix. The gun does not make you American. Loving Americans makes you American. All lives matter. All lives matter. Black lives matter. Blue lives matter. Everybody in America should be able to live safely. We shouldn't just drive down the same streets that a mass shooting happened, 7 hours ago. Our children should not have to go to school with bulletproof backpacks. It's sick. And people should not attack people who want a safer America. I'm not advocating for people to discriminate against other Americans or hurt other Americans. I'm asking for a society where Americans love other Americans. But apparently I'm the target of so much vitriol, anger, and hatred from people who are brainwashed, literally brainwashed, by the same country that lied to us for so many years about so many different things, about the war in Iraq, the war in Vietnam, about the student loans, about so many different things. America has lied to us from the day we're born, and still people believe that the Second Amendment is a God-given right written by Jesus Christ himself on the Constitution. I'll wipe my ass with that Constitution. Fuck your Constitution. Fuck your Second Amendment. I care about lives. Anyway, The suspect approached the store clerk with a few items, some drinks and things, and brandished a semi-automatic handgun, Upland Sergeant Jake Kirk said. The man stole the items and about $400 to $500 in cash and fled. No shots were fired. Surveillance photos released by Upland and Brea police show a masked man wearing a black sweatshirt with a hood over his head. The sweatshirt had white lettering with green leaves on the front. While police in La Habra, Brea, and Santa Ana have said they believe they are seeking the same suspect, officials in Ontario, Upland, and Riverside have not yet made the determination, though they said they were aware of the other crimes at 7-Eleven stores. It could potentially be the same person, but we're not confirming that at this time, Kirk said. About an hour after the Upland robbery and 25 miles, 40 kilometers away in Riverside, a gunman brandished a gun and robbed the 7-Eleven clerk, then turned the weapon on a customer, opened fire, and fled, Railsback said. Police believe the clerk handed over cash from the register. The shooting victim was in grave condition. It doesn't appear to be any reason that the suspect shot the customer, Railsback said. It sounds like the clerk gave him whatever he asked for. Railsback said criminals typically know that robberies at convenience stores rarely yield large amounts of money, especially during the overnight hours. If you go hit a liquor store or a 7-Eleven or a fast food place, you're not going to get a lot of cash out of it, he said. It's kind of odd that they would do this. Another shooting occurred around 3:20 a.m., about 24 miles, 39 kilometers away in Santa Ana, authorities said. Officers responding there reported gunfire and found a man dead in the 7-Eleven parking lot with a gunshot wound to his upper torso, according to Santa Ana Sergeant Maria Lopez. At this moment, we don't believe he was an employee, Lopez said of the victim. We don't really know yet what he was doing there in the parking lot, if he was a potential customer or just walking by. How sad. You're going to 7-Eleven to go pick up your free Slurpee, then bam, it's over, right? And it's okay because why? It's America, right? It's okay to have the gun. And some people say, well, this guy's a criminal. He shouldn't have had a gun. And God damn it, if I had my gun, I'd have been the good guy with the gun shooting everybody up. No, you wouldn't, you fat son of a bitch. You would have sat in your car with your little Trump stickers on it. Fuck you. No. Listen, some people say criminals will get guns anyway. Well, you know what? All illegal guns owned by criminals were what? They were once bought legally. Every illegal gun once had a legal ownership. So, how about we get rid of the legal ownership? This doesn't happen. Yes, there are crimes of passion, there are robberies, there are murders that happen in other countries, but not to the extent of the United States of America, because we allow the gun culture to persist. And the left will say, you know what, it's economic despair that makes people commit these sorts of crimes where they're desperate and they want to do that. Yes, that's absolutely true. I'm not discounting that. It's absolutely true. Poor people commit crimes, right? Poor people are overly punished for crimes, right? But that doesn't mean that we should not try to mitigate also both circumstances. We should eliminate the economic despair that exists in America. 1 in 3 American children are born in poverty. And also, we should mitigate the massive amount of gun violence that exists in America that is totally unacceptable. Totally unacceptable. Period. This is what I believe. Period. And I know this to be a fact because this doesn't happen in other major countries that we should be similar to, that we should be better than. If you want to compare America to Brazil, Mexico, if you want to compare America to any third world nation you bring up that has a high homicide rate, go ahead, please. But I would just say, well, are you saying America's a third world nation? Because I'd probably agree with you. Anyway. Surveillance video shows the suspect dropping items believed to be the victim's belongings as he fled, Lopez said. About 40 minutes later, a 7-Eleven employee in Brea was shot and killed, Brea Police Captain Phil Rodriguez said. Less than an hour later, officers in neighboring La Habra were sent to a reported robbery at 7-Eleven. They discovered 2 gunshot victims around 4:45 a.m., according to Sergeant Sumner Bohee. Authorities have not disclosed the victim's conditions. Rest in peace to the 7-Eleven victim. Rest in peace to the other person that was killed in these string of robberies. They're all working class people. No working class person should be killed while doing the job. Doesn't matter if they're 7-Eleven workers, police officers, English teachers like me. Doesn't matter. Whatever you do in life, you should be able to do that job, come home to your family safe and sound. But unfortunately in America, you never know when it could go down. It could be your day at any time. It could be at church, at a movie theater, at a concert, at 7-Eleven. It's unacceptable. It does not need to happen. It doesn't happen in Canada, doesn't happen in France, doesn't happen in the UK, but in America, we accept it because Brainwashing, literally the matrix, is in our brains. Wake up. Wake up, America. Wake up. This is unsustainable. America will not last the next 100, 200 years with this level of violence that is continuing to increase. Abolish the Second Amendment. My name is Simon Hill, and thank you for watching.